February 10th. It's about 4:15 p.m. I've been kind of busy this week with some stuff. I'm kind of not feeling very great, so I haven't been uploading this week. My daughter had a sick day from school, and she had a snow day from school, all in the same week, and she's still sick today. Actually, she has some kind of stomach bug going on. She's in the other room resting in bed and watching her tablet. She was not in the mood to participate today and be my assistant, but she passes along her greetings. And I've not been feeling super great myself. As I've probably mentioned before, I have a touch of depression, and I think it just the seasonal seasonal depression too just kind of swooped in there. I'm trying to pull myself out. So, and I think that I mentioned, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, in another video, that I was having a little bit of creative block working with one of the Hero Arts kits. Unfortunately, that creative block is not going away. I'm still really struggling with that, and I think that it's possibly a little bit depression related. So I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to pull myself out of it. I've not been doing a lot of crafting because I can't really think of anything that I want to do, which is really sad because I have everything, right? So I should be able to sit here and do that. So I am trying to make myself do one thing every day. I've been pulling stuff out, trying to get inspired by stuff that I have. I'm trying to get inspired by stuff that's coming out. I'm pretty excited about some of the Lawn Fawn stuff coming out in a little under 2 weeks now. There's a few things from the Sunny Studio release that I'm really looking forward to. There's at least one set from the Avery L release that I'm looking forward to. So I'm just trying to look forward and look ahead and trying to be inspired. I do have a bunch of projects that I've been meaning to get started, and I'm going to kind of buckle down and kind of work with it and see if that helps. But in the meanwhile, I have done a few things this week. I do have a couple cards to share for a card share. Just some coloring projects, if you will, that I had started and kind of kept putting aside, and I finally sat down and basically made myself finish coloring them, and then I cut them out, and then they'd been sitting here for like another week looking at me, and I finally did a card with them. So the first thing up here is the February design for the Gerda Sterner Designs. This is the February digital stamp for her monthly contest, and this is the card that I made from that. These cute little bunny rabbits, and of course I had to make them brown because, as you know, our bunny rabbit Daisy is brown. And this is pretty close to her coloring too, so except she's a little bit darker on the nose area, but pretty cute. And this background is one of the ones that I had made with the February Hero Arts kit, and then I used a cloud stencil to do some inking with that. And this is the, oh, I don't have my ink cubes out, but this is the Hero Arts light purple ink that came in the January Hero Arts My Monthly Hero Kit. And this is just a stamp sentiment from a stamp set that I got on eBay a couple years ago. I think it's just like a no name thing. It's just a really small stamp set. I've been trying to pull out a lot of my old supplies and get more use out of them. I don't really have a lot of Easter stamp sets. We're not religious. I'm an atheist. We're not religious. So we don't really celebrate Easter in that sense, except we do talk about the Easter Bunny, and we do exchange like little, candies, and I usually get my daughter a stuffed animal, but other than that, we don't really do anything Easter, so I don't really have a lot of Easter stuff. So I was digging through my stash, and in terms of just straight Easter, all I had was that little set that I got on eBay like years ago when I first started stamping. So it's not very quality. I didn't really enjoy using that stamp set, so I'm definitely going to keep an eye out this year for a couple of Easter things, and I've already have my eye on the 2 little Easter sets that are coming from Lawn Fawn. So anyway, I didn't really enjoy using, I didn't really find it very quality, and I didn't think that it stamped very well this one stamp. So that'll definitely be a destash thing. And this is the, as I said, Digi-Stamp from Gerda Steiner, and I cut and colored it. It's on an inked background. This is just a stitched hillside background that I cut from, oh my goodness, I don't even remember what this paper stack was. I'm trying to use up stuff that I have just kicking around. Gosh, I don't even remember. It was from a 6x6 paper pad. Again, just trying to use up some stuff that I have. And this is just a bit of twine from my twine door. And then stamp back. A couple of cards from a My Favorite Things set. This is probably also a stamp set that I'm going to be destashing because I did just recently acquire, if you've watched any of my hauls, acquire a Lawn Fawn stamp set with pirates on it. Let's see if I can grab it real quick. Maybe, maybe not. Obviously I didn't plan this out very well. Here we go. I haven't even opened it up yet, but I got the Lawn Fawn Ahoy Matey set, which I think I enjoy better. I just wanted to kind of use it one last time to see to see how I felt about it before I destash it, and I think that I like the Lawn. My tastes are changing. I think I'm preferring more Lawn Fawn lately than My Favorite Things, and also a couple of other companies, but less My Favorite Things, more other stuff. So I really like this set, and I'm excited to use it. It was kind of my last my last shot with the My Favorite Things, and I'm going to, I think, be destashing that stamp set at some point. Okay, so the next thing I have up, this is a card a personal card. I made a shaker card for my husband for Valentine's Day. So I haven't written my message on the inside yet, but I will. I stamped on the bottom corner here because I have lots to say. And I used one of my new Technique Tuesday stamps for the back. Very funny. So this card I made using the new Hero Arts Raccoon Valentine's Day set. And I colored and die cut this little guy. Excuse me. And again, it's a shaker, and I made this, this cutout here is using a die. I don't know where this die came from. It's an unbranded die. It just had some hearts on it, and I thought that it was really cute. And I used, let me pull that out, because that I have. Oh, and I should say, my husband's favorite color is purple, so that's why I went with a lot of purples. And I filled the shaker with a purple bead and sequin mix that came from Kindred Stamps. And this is Heat Embossed with Wow embossing powder. And again, Hero Arts Sentiment and Little Raccoon. Raccoon is kind of like my Patronus, my spirit animal. I mean, my husband knows that, so so I thought that would be kind of fitting for him. And the purple, and for the purple, I used this Forever in Time 6x6 set, the Perfect Prince. I used a couple of purples out of here. He tends to more like the darker purples, but that one's really pretty, but I couldn't find a way to pull that in. But I figured, hey, purple is purple, and he's gonna love it anyway, because he's a cutie. Oh, and I'm trying to use up, I just have a tiny little bit left. I don't know if you guys remember, like 6 months ago, I ordered some foam tape off AliExpress, and I got just this really poor quality, crappy foam tape, and I've been trying to use it up on personal cards. Like, it's too poor quality to use on anything that I would sell in my Etsy shop, but I've been trying to use it up on my personal cards, and it is now almost gone. I used quite a bit of it on this card for my husband. So I think maybe I've got one more card out of this, and then I'm finally done. I can't waste anything. It was only like 98 cents for this big huge roll, and it just, ugh. I can't waste it though, so I'm excited. And the last bit of card share is another of my favorite things set that I probably will also be keeping. I forget what this one's called, Polynesian Princess or something. And just very basic cards, but I did want to point out that I just started using black card bases. So that is what makes this important enough to me to show off is because this is kind of my first real delve into using card bases that aren't white or ivory. And I just die cut a white scalloped oval and a couple of more images to decorate the inside. So black card bases, more cards, pretty fun, kind of trying to feel summer and trying to get out of the funk. And I do like that stamp set, so I'll probably hang on to that one. I don't have that many of my favorite things. I want to say maybe only have 10 of them. So I'm going to be probably destashing about half of it. What's happening is I'm running out of room in my stamp totes, so I'm trying to weed out some stuff that I'm not using all that much. So let's see what else has been going on this week. My car is having some problems. I had my doctor's appointment on Monday, which is going okay with that. And I had a friend that went with me, and on the way there, my car started making a really loud noise in the brake area. My husband checked it out that night. We made it safely. We didn't have any issues with braking or anything. It was just making a noise, and we made it home safely, and my husband checked it out the next morning, and I have a caliper on my brakes that's bad or coming loose or something. I'm not a car person, so I'm not really sure exactly what the problem is, but it is the caliper on one of my brakes. My husband knew apparently that that one was going or was not in great condition or whatever. And he actually had purchased the new caliper that needs to go on it. He was just kind of hoping that we would have a bit more time to deal with it because we live in New England and it's winter and there's 900 feet of snow outside and ice, and he doesn't really have a nice clean paved spot in which to get underneath my car and safely work on it. So but he's gonna have to try to figure out a way to do that because I need to have that part fixed because my car is really loud and it's really annoying. So that's been going on, and because a combination of the car and because my daughter's sick, yesterday was Saturday, she did have an appointment with her optometrist that we had to postpone. So unfortunately it's more appointments later in the month. But that's really pretty much all that's been going on. I've been trying to do a little bit of reading, trying to get back into that boring book that my doctor wants me to read for meditating. Trying to get into Harry Potter, which I love, but I'm having a hard time getting into it, and I think it's possibly depression related. And I've also been doing a rewatch of Call the Midwife on Netflix, which is a beloved show, but I haven't seen the most recent season that came out on Netflix, so I like to do a rewatch of the whole thing before I watch a new season. So I'm somewhere in the second to last season of that. So I've been working on that a little bit in my downtime. And of course, as usual, trying to just catch up on all of the YouTube stuff and so on and so forth. My landlord brought me the mail this morning, and we have the new Joann's flyer, which is good now, I think. Yeah, it's the February 8th to the 14th. I hadn't even had a chance to look at it. So, okay. Valentine's Day is Wednesday, but as you guys know, my husband works crazy hours and doesn't get home till, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. So, pretty much Valentine's Day is a wash, but he can get Tuesday, the 13th, off from work completely. So he's going to take Tuesday off, which is going to be exciting. And I have a girlfriend that's going to come over and get Leah off the school bus and babysit Leah and do dinner with her and shower time and homework and all that crap and and put her to bed. So we're really excited about that. So Rod and I are actually going to go out of town. We're going to travel down south to the city area where there'll be more Joann's. I can't see anything in here that I'm interested in, but there's also a Hobby Lobby, which we've never been to one before. We've traditionally been boycotting them, a part of the boycott, but as he says, it doesn't hurt to take a look. They've been doing a lot of clearance stuff, and it's not really even just Hobby Lobby that's the problem anymore, so we'll take a look. I've never even seen one, so I'll take a look at Hobby Lobby. I'm not entirely sure if my desire to save money outweighs my morals at this point, or if it's even a moral thing anymore, because I really haven't been keeping up with that whole thing. So, I don't know. I'll take a look. This Joann's, and there's going to be 2 Michaels, actually, that we're going to have access to. I don't really need anything. I did have to place an order with Consumer Crafts last week, which should be here soon. Just because I know that I'm kind of on a spending freeze, but I had almost no A2 white envelopes left, so I really needed some of those. I'm running really low on my liquid adhesives and a couple of other things that were on sale. So I did have to break my spending freeze and cut into some of my Etsy money last week and do purchase from Consumer Crafts. But other than that, I don't really need anything. I'm still trying to, as you'll see, kind of shop my stash and do some projects. I don't really see anything in here that I'm interested in. Paper crafting punches, 40% off. 60% off open stock paper. I don't really need anything. But there are some really cool coupons here. 50% off, 40% off, 30% off your total regular price purchase. And the usual framing coupon that Joann's and Michael does. We'll see. I'll have a look at Hobby Lobby. We'll see. We will see what they do. Whenever somebody's like, oh, we get it at Hobby Lobby, and I'm like, oh, we don't shop at Hobby Lobby. They think I'm insane. It's like, oh, I don't know. Doesn't hurt to look. So let me take a quick sip of water if you don't mind. I've had to switch to water per doctor's orders. No more diet sodas, no more saccharine, no more sugar substitutes in my coffees, and so on and so forth. So yeah. None of that stuff. So right now I'm doing water, no more diet soda for me during the day. So I have a couple of projects that I have half going, or projects that I wanted to start that I figured I would show you guys, because that makes me accountable for showing you the next time I film how far I've gotten. I picked up this die a while back that makes these cute little girls and their kimonos, and I've just been playing with them and some scraps. So I have a couple of little girls in kimonos that I need to figure out what I want to do with them. I have some stamp sets for my daughter. We need to make some thank you cards because she's doing the jump rope for heart fundraiser thing, and she had some sponsors for that from our family and friends that she needs to make thank you cards for. So she's already colored her little, she stamped it, well, with help, she stamped and colored her images. I forget, I think this is a clearly besotted stamp. This might be a My Favorite Things stamp. I'm not really sure. I don't remember. I'm terrible. I stamped it and then put it all away, and I kept out the sentiment that we're going to use. I'm going to use this this thanks sentiment, which is from Ms. Sparkling Company, which is that inexpensive like dollar spot line from Joann's. So we're going to use that thanks sentiment on a couple of monster and kitty cat cards, and she's already picked out the Nouveau drops that she wants to go with that. So we need to work on that because her jump rope is actually on Wednesday. So I won't post a link for that. She's already met her goals and all that stuff, and I'm sure you guys have already been harassed enough by the elementary schoolers in your lives for that. So I have a couple of other things that I wanted to work on. I have this Grandparents' Day set from Studio Calico. That's brand new that I hadn't opened yet that I really wanted to open. I thought this would be really fun for watercoloring. I have this Darcy's stamp set, again, that I haven't even used yet, called Okay to Be Different, which I really want to use. I have this piece of paper, inexplicably. I don't know. Also, I do have, oh my goodness, I was looking for my Stitch Heart dies for like an hour. Just the other day. So I have and my Stitch Heart dies just came from eBay. From Lawn Fawn, from the Roar, I have a bunch of little stamped images. These are for cards. I'm working on Valentine's Day cards for my daughter's class, and I actually have to double this because we just learned that she has to supply cards for the other 4th grade classroom as well. Yeah, I need that by Wednesday, so technically it needs to be done by Tuesday night. I have just a couple of other little random Lawn Fawn things that I've colored and haven't turned into cards yet. I pulled out this paper pack that I got, and I actually I hauled it Sorry for the crinkling. I'll try not to touch the package too much. I hauled it from a Tuesday morning haul when we went to Massachusetts. Sorry, I know the packaging is really irritating. It is, I believe, a scrapbooking paper set, but okay, not touching it anymore. I thought I was going to cut it up and use it for cards. It's kind of all stuck in there and it would take me forever to pull it apart. I have a couple of, I know I have like a stamp set that came from Papercraft magazine that has some wild animals and stuff. So I'm going to do kind of like a Wild for You card collection. So I thought this might be fun to pull out. And I'm going to get that just away from here. It's too crinkly. Other projects that I have going on, I'm done with, aside from pulling stuff together for my daughter's class, I'm done with Valentine's Day. So I've been working on some St. Patrick's Day cards. And I have this Lucky Rainbow Sentiments set from CC Designs. I do not believe that this is available anymore. But there's some really great sentiments in here for St. Patrick's Day, or things that could be considered St. Patrick's Day, that I'm pretty excited to use. So I'll be pulling together some, or trying to pull together some sort of leprechaun-y, green, rainbowy St. Patrick's Day stuff to use those. And the other thing that I have going on right now, I didn't drag it in front of me. I'm working on a Valentine's Day pocket letter for a friend that is probably not going to ship until after Valentine's Day, so I thought I would combine it with St. Patrick's Day for her. So I'm kind of waiting on some other stuff to get pulled together that I wanted to send her, and it's not ready yet. So, and she knows that, and it's not a big deal. So I'm probably going to combine my Valentine's and St. Patrick's Day stuff for her. So the Valentine's pocket letter is kind of all set, so I have that set aside. And I'll work on a St. Patrick's Day pocket letter for her. I also just found out I have a lot of pen friends, pen pals from around the world. And one of them just told me in her last letter that she's going to start doing something called pocket letters she was excited to tell me about. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I know all about pocket letters. So I told her in my last letter that I would send her a pocket letter. So I will make her a St. Patrick's Day themed pocket letter as well. And speaking of St. Patrick's Day, I signed up to do my first Memory Decks card swap on a St. Patrick's Day theme. So I figured it would be a really great excuse to whip out the Memory Deck stuff that I picked up from Studio Calico when they did their clearance back in December between Christmas and New Year's. And I haven't been able to use any of these yet. So I picked up some of the dies. This is one of the die set. They have a few. And basically I just need to make a Memory Decks card and get it all designed and pimped out and send it to a friend. And I picked up, I've never done anything with Memory Decks card before, and I picked up the holder as well to hold the stuff that I receive. And I did grab a package of these Memory Decks envelopes, which I originally picked up because I wanted to actually tear them apart and deconstruct them and figure out how they were made. But they're really cute. I might actually just keep them and keep little seasonal die cuts in them and stuff. I'm not sure. Look, this is kind of like a Rolodex for the 21st century. So they're pretty cute. So I'm going to be working on a Memory Decks card. And maybe I'll send my my other friend a Memory Decks card too anyway, just because I don't know if this is something she does or not. But my thought was, oh, look at how sad it came out of the package like this. It's a little ripped. My thought process was it wouldn't hurt to have one of these little things around anyway, because like I was saying, they're small enough you can hold really tiny die cuts in them and sort of keep them at easy reach. And also, as you can see from my little baskets here, and this is my basket system for keeping track of projects and stuff, which is working out really well. This is inspired by my former life as a pharmacy technician, where we would take the patient's prescription and put it in the basket, and then everything associated with this would stay in the basket until it's time to bring this to the register to ring up the customer. And along the same lines as I would keep everything together in the basket. But some of the stuff I don't necessarily need a whole basket for. Like if I've colored these little lawn fawn images, I don't really need to hang on to these anymore. I could just pop these in a Memory Decks envelope and, you know, get to this when I feel like it. So that's the reasoning behind that. Memory Decks, St. Patrick's Day project for an exchange, my first memory deck. So I'll have to show you guys how that turns out. So these are the kinds of things that I'm going to be making myself work on. For the Etsy shop, I'm not rich or anything. I wasn't like extremely successful, but I had a really good Valentine's Day season. Of course, Valentine's Day is just 4 days away, unless someone is all about paying the $30-something to have a, cheap $5 Valentine's Day card express shipped to them, which I shouldn't laugh because it actually has happened before, but I don't get a lot of call for maybe only a couple times a month I have to express ship a card. So there's not going to be a huge, pounding for that. But I did do really, really well this Valentine's season with the cards in my shop. And I haven't tallied up the exact numbers of how many cards that I sold, but I sold a lot more than I thought I was going to, and cards I was sure that weren't even going to sell sold. So I'm really pleased with that. And every year I build a little bit more upon the year before, and I do better and better and better. So I'm really happy with that. So Valentine's Day is kind of the last big card thing. I'll do a few St. Patrick's Day and a few Easter as well, maybe more Easter than St. Patrick's Day. But other than that, it's not really anything. I'll still be doing, your everyday cards, your birthday, your wedding. But the next big holiday season that I have coming up are Mother's Day and Father's Day. And I do actually, let me pull it now while I'm thinking of it. I do have that set that I picked up from, I think it was an eBay auction at D-Stash. The Mommy and Me set from Lawn Fawn for Mother's Day. I should pull that out as well. I don't have the dies for this one, but that's okay. Kind of work on that. And I do have, I'll pop that in my little basket here to work on that as well. I do have a couple of, not stamp set related, but I do have a couple of Father's Day cards that I'm working on as well. Anyway, so that's pretty much what I got. I'm going to put this away because I think I'm done with my print cards for now. And get I like to keep my coupons and flyers right underneath my keyboard here so they're very easy to grab if I'm headed out to go shopping. And that is pretty much all that I have going on. I did want to make address something, a personal comment towards something. I had a comment on one of my videos, I think it was 2 weeks ago. It was not a super cruel comment, but it wasn't a very nice comment about how the person couldn't even get through all of my complaining to get to the content of the video. Well, then I would just like to address you personally and say, then don't watch. I was kind of complaining about my lack of inspiration with a kit and kind of my creative block that I have going on right now. I'm pretty sure that complaining about my complaining doesn't really help me recover my inspiration. So just don't watch, dude. There's no need to be unkind. If you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say it at all, right? At least on somebody's video. We all have not nice things to say, but don't say it on somebody's video, especially when they're already frustrated with themselves for not being able to tap into the creative vein. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I've got. The rest of this weekend is going to be spent cleaning. I cleaned like a third of my kitchen today, and for some reason I thought I had finished, and then I went back into the kitchen like 2 hours later, and I was like, what the hell? Like, it's still like 2/3 dirty. So go back to work on my kitchen a little bit, and tomorrow is the usual going to the town dump and recycling station and grocery store, and my husband will help vacuum, and so that's pretty much what we got. I'm not sure what's going to go on next week. I'll probably be not uploading very much, but I will be hopefully working on projects and have something to show you when I log back in. That is what I have. I've rambled on for almost half an hour. My 100 subscriber giveaway winner has come forward via my Facebook page, and I'm really excited. That's probably going to go out to her on Monday because I have to go to the post office anyway and buy stamps. I'm really low on stamps, and I have a huge stack of Valentine's Day cards for the nieces and nephews that absolutely have to go out in the mail, and I'm almost out of stamps. So that'll go out on Monday, hopefully, as long as it's not snowing, so fingers crossed. And I was just absolutely shocked. She is from my state when she gave me her address, and she actually lives in a town that I know, and she lives on a street that my best friend used to live on. So so she is kind of localish. So really, really surprising. What a small world, right? This is like rural mid New Hampshire here, guys. And I don't know her, which of course, you know, different school districts and stuff, but yeah, and I don't know her, so I just think that's really neat. Really interesting. What a small world, right? Anyway, that's what I got. It's been half an hour since I've been blabbering on. I will probably check in at some point next week, and hopefully I will have some actual stuff to show you instead of just a bunch of rambling. Take care, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.